transport of dangerous goods, we came to look at their various treaties or regulations that governed the transport, which has been signed at various places all the world over. Then we went on to looking at the various um, items or things that you need to look out for when it comes to dangerous goods identification. We look at the UN number, we look at the symbols that they use, we look at the placards and other items. Then what we now would be looking at have to do with training. Training is a very important part of the handling and transportation of dangerous goods. Without proper training, it is very difficult to get it straight, because there is the likelihood that if one or a freight forwarder, anybody who is handling dangerous goods mess up, then there's the likelihood that there will be an accident. And if the accidents occur, then incidences will occur. So as a result of that, it is very, very instructive to note that you cannot toy with dangerous goods training. The training is supposed to be continuous, and in most cases, wherever you have the training, it has to be revisited from time to time. Wherever you change your job, the training records must be kept so that one can be given certificates showing that you have had those types of training. In the developed countries, these things are taken very, very serious. But in our parts of the world, we normally do not take them serious. We have job-specific training, and that is what we call function-specific training. And then we have also got mode-specific training. The function-specific training is whatever you are doing in your job area, wherever you find yourself, the role that you are playing, you needed to be trained in such a situation so that at the end of the day, you will not have much problem. Once you become conversant with it and you can identify the dangerous substances and how to handle them, then you are good to go. Then when we talk about mode specific, we're looking at whether it is by sea or wherever you are handling this cargo, is it by air or by rail or by road? What are the documents that go with it? And how do we take care of them? That is exactly what we are going to look at now when it comes to training. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have gone through the slides with you, and this is the last part of it, training and documentation. Wherever you realize that my emphasis had been coming, my voice had been coming so loud and I emphasize so much, you need to take most of that serious. Then again, you need to look closely at whatever is going on in on the slide with regards to the material. You need to read over and over again so that at the end of the day, those things that you are not getting clear, you can call my attention to them. We'll discuss them. But majority of what we have on the slide are self-explanatory, and I don't hope to have issues. I can we can arrange, if the need be, to have a one-on-one meeting, at least one or two, to clear the air on certain issues. But if there's no need for such situations, then we are just good to go. I've also given you some term paper which you are supposed to do. The term paper is over 70. The assignments that will also come again, will continuous assessment, will also be over 30. At the end of the day, you should write these things out on paper and make sure they are typed boldly, not with small. The font sizes should be at least 14 so that I can read it properly. There are some people who delight in using small characters, which is, if the volumes are so much, it's difficult to read. Then also the spacing and the characters that you are using, it should not be capital letters. Some people believe in using capital letters to type a whole assignment, which is not welcome. So you will not, after the term paper, be writing an exam. The term paper represents the exams that you are going to write. You have the continuous assessment, which is the assignments, and then the term paper is also an assignment, but a more serious one because it's going to be marked over 70. So please take it serious and then make sure you meet the deadline. After this, we would go into safety and security, and that would bring a closure to my engagement with you. So let's shoot on immediately and see how these things will play out. Okay, training plan. The successful application of regulations concerning the transport of dangerous goods and achievement of their objectives are greatly dependent on the appreciation by all individuals concerned of the risk involved and on the detailed understanding of the regulations. This can only be achieved by properly planned and maintained initial and recurrent training programs for all persons concerned in the transport of dangerous goods. So, like I was saying, once the regulations are there, there's the need to do an in-depth training. And the individuals who are taking through the training program must also understand that they need to deal with these things properly. I made mention of training must be mode specific and function specific, which I earlier on explained without the slide rolling. So the slide here explains what function specific means, that the training should be according to the person's specific job function. So that is it. Then training programs, we have initial and recurrent dangerous goods training programs must be established and maintained by or on behalf of the shipper, the packers, shipping agents, carriers, cargo handlers, that's the stevedores, and then distributors and inspectors. So depending on the job that you are doing, if you are a shipper, if you are a packer, somebody who's been packing the cargo, if you are a ship agent, those who carry the goods, they are workers. If you are the carrier, the goods, I mean well, we the custom house agents, normally, and then those who work with the shipping companies, then the carriers, the cargo handlers, stevedores, distributors, all these things, they do certain specific jobs. So your training must be geared towards the job that you are doing. That is where we talk about function specific. That's the job that you are doing. So get it clear. Then general awareness familiarization training. This must be designed to provide familiarity with the general provisions of dangerous goods, transport requirements, and must include a description of the classes of dangerous goods, the marks and labels and placards, that is the enlarged labels. Remember, these are signs or identification signs that will show you that these things are dangerous goods, which we have seen in the symbols that have been wrote earlier on. So we have general packing requirements as well, storage, segregation, and compatibility requirements. Storage means where to put these goods in the compartments of the aircraft or the sea going vessels. Segregation, how to separate them so that they will not be by each other in the event of